Coach Stan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. Obviously, all preseason games aren't created equally, but for your group to be going against so many of their starters in the closing moments of a tight game, and then also to come away with the win, just how valuable is that experience, especially in preseason action?
I think there were so many things that created such valuable lessons for our guys. Obviously, going up early, them getting close, and then coming down to the wire. Those are such teachable moments for our guys. And then the atmosphere in here was fantastic. Our fans were, obviously pushing us through. The energy in the building was fantastic tonight.
Jamahl, what did you like about what you saw playing through Franz and Wendell in those final 5 minutes?
Well, I thought there was just a poise to them. There was an ability to recognize the reads, understand how Memphis was playing us, and there was a patience level. And I really enjoyed watching them play off of each other, the read and reacting, and then obviously trying to get down the stretch, sit down, and get stops.
Thomas here with Florida National News. Obviously, a lot of eyes are on the main rookies, Bol Bol and Caleb and Paolo. How do you think they fared tonight, especially now that they're home? Like, how do you think they fared with the home audience?
Well, I think they fed off of the fans' energy. I thought that was great. They embraced the moment. I know Caleb came in off the bench. He wasn't afraid. He did a heck of a job. Obviously offensive rebounding, knowing when to cut, knowing when to move. Bol settled down a little bit, which I thought was great. And then Paolo, he's not afraid of the moment. There was a time he called for the basketball, and it wasn't for himself. It was because he had a mismatch on him, and he felt that, and he made the play to Terrence Ross, who ended up getting the three-point play. So I think it's situations like that you see the growth in these young men of what they're trying to accomplish.
Sticking with Bol, is this kind of the Bol that you've seen throughout training camp? You ask guys throughout camp, they keep talking about, Bol's really showing out. He's really showing out. Is this, I guess, what they're talking about in terms of the production, in terms of what he's able to do on the floor?
Well, I think these are glimpses of it. I think he's capable of so many things. And obviously being in a new system and understanding what our guys are doing, he's learning how to play with other guys, just like the rest of our guys are with the rotations. He's learning that, so it's just going to be a continued growth process for him as well.
Coach Jeremy Brenner with the Magic Insider. In Texas, you had struggled to start games, but tonight it was kind of the opposite. So what did you tell the team that kind of allowed them to, I guess, start a little bit smoother than you had in the last 2 games?
Well, I'll probably sound like a broken record saying like the energy in this building and our fans were incredible. And I think our guys felt that and they fed off of it. But then there was just a level of execution offensively that these guys were willing to make the easy and extra pass. And then we've talked about, sitting down and guarding. And they did that to start, knowing we're hanging our hat on the defensive end. These guys really embraced that.
Jamahl, I hate to give you like the macro level evaluation, but how would you evaluate Paolo through these first 4 preseason games?
Well, I really think it's just about the growth. We said it from the beginning that it's going to be about these young guys growing and getting better, and he's growing each game. He's gotten better. He's slowed the game down. He's recognized reads, and our coaches do a great job with him, helping him recognize those things. So if I had to say it, it's just he's growing and learning, and the game's slowing down for him.
When you look at your 5 starters and you see double-digit scoring for those 5, what does that kind of say about the unselfishness of this group right now?
That's exactly it. We've said it from the beginning. We're going to do it by committee. And some nights one guy may have a big night, one guy may not. And the reality of what this team is how it's being built is we're going to do it together. We're going to do it by committee. And, guys are celebrating each other night in and night out. And I think that's just the great part about this young group.
Anything else? One. Dick.
Yeah, Coach, you got some guys out. You got one more tune-up. Then 6 of 8 games on the road to start the season. Where do you feel right now in terms of being ready to start?
Well, the one thing that I like that we were able to do tonight was we were able to get their minutes up, just so they're able to see how long they can play. Obviously, the conditioning side of it. With guys being out, we'll continue to look at different ways in which the substitution patterns happen. But I'm going to have to look at that, talk to our staff, and see how that works out for this Cleveland game coming up, making sure we walk into the 6 games, coming out, that we're healthy.
Understanding that assists aren't the be all end all when it comes to, I guess, showing playmaking. But you have a guy like Franz, having 8, and then Wendell having 6, and even Chuma off the bench having 4. Like, what offensively, like, how, I guess, creative or fun can it be for you as a coach to just scheme up different things in terms of how you can use your guards and how you can use your forwards and even your bigs?
Well, it goes back to that earlier point that we'll continue to say we're going to do it by committee. And for what we're telling our guys to become is playmakers. And I think that's the point of why, we can put the ball in Wendell's hands, why we can put the ball in Franz's hands, why we can put the ball in Chuma's hands, because they're willing to make decisions, and we're working on them making the right decisions. Like I said, our coaches do a tremendous job of helping these guys get prepared for situations they're going to be in. So that's a luxury of having guys that are able to do that and willing to do it.
Paolo, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. We talked pregame just about, getting a second opportunity to play against these guys, just be a barometer for your type of growth. Just how much growth did you see from your group from that first game, and what was it like to play in front of the fans here at Amway Center?
Yeah, there was a big difference, from the first time we played them and to now, just them. The first game, they turned us over, I think, 25 times. I'm not sure how many we had tonight. I know we had more in the second half, but the first half I think we only had 5 or 6, and that played a big part in slowing them down, us executing, running our stuff, and then just playing in front of the fans. I mean, it was just great energy. It felt like like home. That sounds corny, but just being on the home floor, having the fans in there in the tunnel, slapping 5, cheering for us. It felt really welcoming. So thank you to them.
Paolo, through these first 4 games, kind of how would you evaluate what you've been able to do so far?
I think I'm just getting more comfortable. Obviously those first 2 games was more me just seeing how the game's played, seeing how it's going to be, and then like I said, after that San Antonio game, I was like, all right, like this is I'm good now. So that's just how I've been playing, and I come in, try and play free, try and play my game, and try and play to win.
Paolo, Melissa Thomas right here in front, Florida National News. Kind of talk about the kind of the guidance that you've been getting from some of the veterans, especially here at home, kind of getting that lay of the land. What kind of instructions or advice have they been giving you?
Just a lot of the same, just it's a long season, it's going to be ups and downs. It's a long journey. We just got to stay consistent, stay together. And just myself individually just telling me, to embrace it all. Don't put too much pressure on myself, have fun, just all the basic stuff. And I've really been, listening to them, taking their advice, and it's all been, good stuff. I feel good right now.
Coach mentioned that play there toward the end when you found Terrence and he got fouled for that 3-pointer. You had 17 points, but how much of your game is playmaking for others, recognizing the mismatch, as Coach said, and getting the ball to the open man?
Yeah, on that one, I just, coming down the court, told Coach, just let me get a look on the logo right there, because I had a decent matchup I felt I could take advantage of, whether it was scoring or finding Terrence. As soon as I got the ball, something me and Coach Mosley and, the rest of the staff, they've been on me about and working on is being patient. When I catch it in the mid-post, just being patient, seeing what the defense is doing and making the right read. So on that, I had the ball, and they were pulled over a lot, and Terrence was lifting up, and he was wide open. So, I knew he was going to. Terrence is actually, like, really, really good at drawing fouls as well, too. Literally since I got here in the summer, like, he always draws fouls. So I knew it was either going to be a good shot or he was going to draw a foul.
For you, Paolo, how unique is it to be in an offense where you do have not just yourself, but Franz, Wendell, even Chuma have such a great, I guess, playmaking in the front court? Have you been a part of an offense like that before?
No. I mean, you don't play with these players, these kind of players. I mean, at any level. I mean, this is my first time playing with guys of this caliber. So, no. I mean, playing with Franz is like just easy. Like, I've never really been able to like make backdoor cuts and just get easy layups. And this is only our second game playing together, and I can already just feel the difference, the energy. Dale doing the same thing. We all are so unselfish, and we just go together. We all know when to be aggressive, when to come off the ball, when to set one. Like, it just is. It feels natural so far. So let's just keep building on that, and I think we'll be good.
Paolo, way back right even before Summer League, Coach had talked about how you still are trying to figure out just how strong you are and how to use your strength. it was a test for you tonight, late in the fourth. I think it was Dylan Brooks guarding you, a really strong defender. What was it like, those last couple of possessions going back and forth with a very physical defender like that?
Yeah, it's fun, and it helps me a lot being a rookie, getting to go against a guy like him who's going to be physical, he's going to grab, he's going to pull, he's going to talk. So it just helps me, moving forward, dealing with that, using my physicality, seeing how I'm able to, use my physicality to my advantage and get open. All that stuff, it's just been helping me. I'm just trying to take it game by game and try and take a little something from every game that I can apply to the next one.
Wendell, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. Not all preseason games are created equal. For you to be playing a tough opponent like that with so many of their starters in late game, close sequences, and to come away with the win in front of the home crowd, just how valuable are those reps and those experiences for your group as you close out preseason?
With us being such a young team, I think is probably the most important thing. Getting in reps and stuff throughout practice is nothing like playing in a game. I think it was a great test for us because I feel like as a team we will be in a lot of late game situations throughout this year, and that's something that we struggled with a lot last year. Even just going into the third quarter, I think we did a really good job of picking up of how we was playing in the first quarter. So, I think it's a great thing. We got one more to, continue to work on it, and then, hit the ground running.
We saw how effective it was late, but there was a lot of two-man game tonight with you and Franz. Kind of how would you describe, that setup between you two?
Franz is a phenomenal player. He's already established how good he is and how good he's going to be. And, it's an honor just being on the court with him, honestly. I know he's younger than me, but, he just plays the game the right way. He knows my strengths. I know his strengths. That's as simple as that, yeah.
Wendell, going back to the clutch minutes, I guess how would you evaluate your guys' performance in those minutes and weathering, I guess, Memphis' comeback?
We made some mistakes, and I think just us doing it at 100%, doing it to help one another, even though we were wrong sometimes throughout the game, or in the late game situations, I think we just gave a lot of effort, and I feel like that's what propelled us to get the dub tonight.
Wendell, I remember the last regular season game last year. You had talked about, the growth that young teams make, in that second year together. Obviously, there's some injuries here early on for you guys, but how do you feel so far about your guys' ability to take that step that you want thus far?
The first thing you said is injuries. If we can just take care of our bodies a lot better. We're 1 year in as a group, so I feel like guys kind of, especially the younger guys, kind of understand what they need to do in order to keep their body fresh for an 82-game season. But at the end of the day, man, I'm rocking with this team. These guys all play to win, and like I said, even though sometimes we may mess up, I think what separates a good team from a bad team is when you mess up, you're doing it at 100% and doing it for the right intent of the team. And I feel like we're doing that, and we're continuing to grow. And, of course, we want to limit the mistakes, especially late game.
Throughout training camp and preseason, you guys have really just raved about what Bol's brought in practices. Is this what you guys have seen, what he showed tonight on the floor?
It's a little bit. That's a little bit what we've seen. We stress to him, man, when he's in there, man, take those shots. Take the corner threes, the anywhere threes, in my opinion. He's so unique in a way where guys don't really know how to guard him. And, the moment he realizes that, it's the sky's the limit for him, and I feel like he's one of the most unique players in the league. And, with him being with Orlando, I feel like it's a perfect opportunity for him to show that.
Erwin Bustamante, Sport Bar TV. If you want to take something positive for tonight and something that you can do better as a team, what will it be?
I think the positive thing is, something we struggled with last year was our third quarter starts. I think we did a phenomenal job tonight. One thing I think we can improve on is the fouling. I think we sent them to the line, almost 30 times tonight. So that's something that we got to do a better job of playing without fouling. Those are the two things.
Wendell, Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. We heard from Coach about the importance of you guys like doing things by committee, like playing by committee and kind of being unselfish. What does that mean for you personally? How does that resonate for you personally?
Personally, man, I just want to win. And I feel like I look across the league. I watch other games in the league, and the best teams in the league play unselfish. You know, they go from good to great, great to best. You know, that's something that I want to, help install in this team because we all got phenomenal players, 1 through 5, and our bench is pretty damn good. So, we stress it and we do it, but I think we can continue to do it. And, sometimes when, you haven't got a shot, throughout the game, and you might start feeling like you get the itch to want to shoot something that might not be a good shot. Those are the shots we want to eliminate as a team. And I feel like we're definitely taking that step, including myself. Sometimes I get caught up in that. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's what's going to take us to being that great team that we want to be.
Bol, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. Just how much more comfortable are you starting to feel within the Orlando Magic system and offense as you get training camp and some of these preseason games under your belt?
I feel like every game has been a progression, but like just because of my teammates and my coaches, they just been helping me and like telling me to be more aggressive, and I think that's just helped me for like the last 2 games.
Bol, when you made a play tonight, whether it was a block, a dunk, the 3, especially I think in the third and fourth quarter, it was like the loudest cheers from the crowd were for you tonight. What was that like for you to kind of hear that reception?
I think it's pretty cool because it's my first time playing, so it's first time for the fans seeing me as well. So I think we're both excited.
Well, what's been, I guess, the easiest part, but also the most challenging part, getting adjusted to what the coaching staff is asking you to do on the floor?
The easiest part is them and my teammates because they've just done such a good job on helping me and like just even like staying after practice or before practice, and then like just keep encouraging me, and like I'm passing up shots and they're telling me to shoot it and they're telling me to be more aggressive. But the hardest part is really just like figuring everything out because like all the lineups have been changing and we're just all trying to figure out how to play with each other. But I think it's been getting better each game.
For you, what's it like? At one point, I think you were playing alongside Paolo, Wendell, Franz. Like, what's it like in those bigger lineups for you, just being in them?
It's really not too much different because like we're all capable of doing like the same things for our type of sizes. So like me, Paolo, and Franz, we can all shoot, pass, dribble, make plays. So it's just easy. It's not as hard as you would think because we are all capable of doing the same things.
Well, your group went up against Memphis, to start off the preseason. Just how much growth have you seen from the team as a whole since that first preseason game?
A lot. I feel like we've been locked in at practice, and especially like on the film, and just like the little things every day. And I think that's helped us in what is our 3rd game. And like I feel like every game will just another step, just be way better for us.
You mentioned that your teammates are telling you to be more aggressive. I guess what's been the most challenging part about bringing that aggression more consistently? It is through 4 preseason games.
The only thing I'll say is like me, like I wasn't being as aggressive because I was trying to been making the right moves. But they're telling me to like, I'm still playing like within the system, so like they're telling me to shoot more and dribble more just so I can get more comfortable, and that's just been helping me each game.